To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So, over the summer, I bought one of these tanks full of propane at the gas station for $40. I have 5 of these tanks. Now, once these tanks are empty, you can take it to the gas station and you can exchange the tank, and then you can get full tank, brand new. You just trade out your empty tank for a full tank at the gas station. And over the summer, I was paying $15 for the exchange, which is actually pretty cheap because if you go to Dollar General, it's $20. They have raised the price of the exchange from $15 to $20. Now, you can get these refilled. Now, the closest refill station is about 30 miles away. So we figure it's cheaper just to go ahead and exchange it. The problem with the exchange is when you get it filled, you can get the full 5 gallons. But when you get the exchange, they only give you 4 gallons or something like that. It's less than when they actually fill it. Well, just the other day, I decided to go get another tank. Since we now have the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy sitting right here, I thought I'd get another tank. I try to have 1 tank for every appliance that we own, plus 1. Now think about this. At one point it was $15, now it's $20. When I bought this tank, it was $80. So it went from $40 to $80, it doubled. Now, I don't know what the price of propane is today. When I exchanged it, that was maybe a month ago. So I went from $15 to $20. It may be $25 or $30. So buying a new tank doubled in cost since the summertime. When I went to the gas station, I filled up my truck, which there was like half a tank. I don't let it get very low. Filled a 5-gallon jug, so the truck and the 5 gallons and the propane cost me $108 at the gas station. That is the most money I've ever spent at a gas station. And I don't feel like I was doing anything real exciting. My truck is a 4-cylinder. It doesn't hold that much gasoline. Propane, we were nomads. We lived off propane. That was our primary heat source. That's how we cooked. That's how we did hot water. Everything as a nomad was propane. My dad runs a RV park down in Florida, and he has a propane station there. So they fill propane tanks. And I called him, and he says, yeah, it's doubled in price. It's extremely expensive right now. Well, yesterday I happened to get an article that I used to read all the time from RV newspaper. I forget what, RV Times or something. I used to read it all the time. I don't read it anymore, but it showed up my Google list. And so I went ahead and read it. It was about propane, and they said that propane has doubled and that the futures of propane, whatever that means, I guess they prospect what it's going to cost in the future. They're looking at it, propane Armageddon is what they said. They're running out of propane. This is really concerning. Propane, a lot of people use as their backup heat source, including us. They are saying that there are going to be areas in the country that are going to be completely out of propane. So Carolyn and I are already thinking, what are we going to do? Because we do rely on propane quite a bit. Now, we do have our backup systems. For example, we cook with propane on our stove, but Carolyn has this whole setup here where she cooks everything with firewood. You can see that she's got a lot of firewood pieces over here. This is her oven with a thermometer. This is her rocket stove. This is her grill. So she can cook everything right here. We can also boil water there. The water heater doesn't use a lot of propane, but we do use the water heater quite a bit. So we would have to slow down on the amount of hot water we're using. For example, when we do canning, we can our food. We use propane for a pressure canner. They don't recommend that you use your pressure canner on firewood. Instead of cooking the chicken with propane, we probably would cook the chicken down here on the firewood and then pressure can it with propane. That would cut down on about 3 hours use of propane because we're not cooking the chicken. But as far as hot water, we use a lot of hot water. Again, we could probably take one of these pans here and boil the water for our hot water needs. That way, we're using firewood instead of propane. The thing is, firewood has went up in cost also. What cost us $75 last year, we were going to buy firewood. Let's back this up. There's a guy down the street He was selling firewood, split firewood for $75 a truckload. We went over there and decided we weren't going to buy any because it was too wet. This year he's selling it for $125. But when you read articles, they're saying the firewood has doubled in price. That's believable. I don't know if it's actual businesses or there's something to selling firewood, but prices have doubled. So today I did a poll about hyperinflation. I said, do you think hyperinflation is a thing? Is it going to happen? Is it in our future? Some people are saying in the comments, it's already here. Also, Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, I don't know how he would know anything like this, but I guess he's rich. He might have some inside information. But just yesterday, he tweeted or something that he thinks hyperinflation is just around the corner. So he agrees with the folks in the poll that says there's hyperinflation. I just did a video about hyperinflation not that long ago. If you can click that video, I'd really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm know that you like this video. You don't necessarily have to watch it and go do something else while that's playing. I appreciate it. And I kind of agree with it. I mean, think about it. Propane's doubled in price. Gasoline, January, I think we were paying $1.99. Now we're up to $3. I don't know if you consider that hyperinflation, but it sure did go up awful quick, quite a bit. What are we going to do in order to overcome this? Well, I just explained some of the things that we're going to do. We're going to start relying on our firewood. Fortunately, I hope, I'm not trying to brag, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I had thought this for a very long time, that I want to live this lifestyle. I want to have firewood available. I want to have 15 years worth of firewood available. In my food stockpile, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of food. I got 300 days worth of food, and I have a renewable source of food, my chickens. Now, people are saying that chicken food is going up in price. I haven't noticed it. I feel very comfortable that chicken prices are staying pretty much where they were all year. That being said, we are going to start growing sorghum and corn and different things for the chickens next year. Right now, I got a stockpile of chicken food. I got some of it just laying here. But I got chicken food just kind of laying around. I think I got 3 months of chicken food. I might go here pretty soon and pick up some more just in case the prices rise up on that. I got a renewable heat source, firewood. I got renewable food, chickens. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. So Carolyn and I were talking, what can the average person do now? If you didn't prepare, if you weren't ready, if you hadn't been wanting to live off grid for your entire life, minimize your lifestyle, what could you do now? And so one of the things we've been talking about is things that we already do that could help you right now. I know this sounds like a terrible thing and that you're going to have to make sacrifices and a lot of work, but firewood is very stable in price. Firewood is like having gold. If you buy gold, you bury the gold, that piece of gold, let's say you wanted to go get a haircut and you had a little bit of gold. So today, that little bit of gold would get you a haircut. The thing is, that same amount of gold will buy you the same haircut 10 years from now. There's no inflation on the haircut. Gold stays at the same price. It's the dollar that changes. So the reason gold becomes more expensive, I mean, you got supply and demand also, but let's just ignore that for a minute. Gold stays solid price. Whatever you buy in the 1920s with that little piece of gold, you can buy today with the same amount of gold. But when you put a dollar amount to it, yeah, it goes up because dollars vary in price. Firewood's the same way. If you could take a piece of wood and buy something back in the 1920s with that piece of wood, that same piece of wood buy the same thing right now. There's no inflation with firewood or gold. Now, gold, like I said, there is a supply and demand issue with it. There's a limited amount of gold. A lot of people want it. Firewood, on the other hand, there's lots of firewood out there. And the thing is, the demand for it is very slim. High supply, little demand. So people give this stuff away. You go on the Facebook Marketplace, and there's tons of it all the time. Right now, some guy's advertising, "I got trees in my backyard, come and get it." So you gotta cut the tree down and take all you want, he says. And I plan on doing that maybe if it's still available. I don't know. Maybe in the spring. I'm just not sure I want to do it right now because winter's coming up. We want to get the property cleaned up. So that's our goal for this year. But that being said, all summer and all spring, I was getting firewood. And I was able to collect 15 years worth. That's a commodity. That's something I can exchange Maybe one of these days, if things get really bad, I can barter with it. I don't know if I actually will, but I could. There's value to that. So what I'm suggesting is, even if you don't have a wood stove, perhaps you should go around collecting firewood, and then you could go and sell it. People will come and get it. You tell them 75 bucks a truckload, even though the guy up the road is doing it for 125 bucks, you could sell it for $75, and you're not putting in that much work. I mean, you go get it, you split it, and then somebody else comes and picks it up. Carolyn had a suggestion I didn't think about. She was saying that on Facebook Marketplace, people are selling their stockpiles. They have these stockpiles of buckets of food in Mylar bags. So it's this prepper thing. These people buy these prepper foods. She's seen in the last month 3 people selling their stockpile of food real cheap. And so I said, well, why are they selling their stockpile? And it's real simple things. People are moving, they don't want to transport the food, extra weight, the movers don't want to take it, whatever the case is. Now, there might be another reason. It might be expiring, the food might be expiring, but rice doesn't go bad. In Mylar bags, it ain't gonna go bad. Somebody said, your flour is gonna get weevils in it. Well, first of all, you can sieve out weevils. They're not that terrible for you. The eggs are already in the flour, so you're already eating it. But where you put it out here in the outside, and it's going to get cold and it's going to freeze, and you keep it out there, I think 3 days, and the weevils will freeze. Okay, somewhere around here, I believe, not for sure, there's a little card. If you'll click that, I'd appreciate it. It helps the algorithm of YouTube recognize that you like this video. So I hope I can inspire you to look out for your future so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.